Hi, I'm Dempsey Palat, and this week I'm reviewing... Now before we start off, as always, I just want to take a quick second to remind you guys to make sure you hit that like button if you liked today's video, and if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well for more new movie-related content weekly. But, without further ado, let's jump into today's film. Red Shoes and the Seven Dwarves was directed by Sung Ho Hong and features the voice talents of Chloe Grace Moretz, Sam Claflin, Gina Gershon, Patrick Warburton, and Jim Rash. The film is an animated adaptation of both the fairy tale Snow White, written by the Brothers Grimm, and Red Shoes, written by Hans Christian Andersen, and it follows a young princess by the name of Snow White who enlists the help of 7 cursed heroes to try and find her missing father, all while trying to evade the clutches of her evil witch stepmother, who she's also happened to steal a pair of shoes from that allow her to change her true form. Now, before we go any further, I just want to warn you guys that this film is a doozy. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily bad, but there is a lot to unpack here. For those of you who haven't heard of this film, it's been surrounded by controversy since its first trailer came out 2 years ago. Its marketing campaign actually came under a lot of fire because of the film's perceived message, which you have to mention when you talk about this film. You see, Snow White, or Red Shoes as she's referred to for a majority of this film, doesn't look like your average princess, and the film implies that because she doesn't look like any of these other princesses, even going so far as to even name drop some Disney princesses specifically, that she isn't beautiful, and that she can never be considered beautiful. And therein lies the problem, okay? The film ends up coming off so superficial because it relies so heavily on society's perception of beauty. Now, as I mentioned before, she is able to change her physical appearance while wearing the shoes that she comes into possession of, but it isn't really until she wears those shoes that people start to pay her attention, that people want to help her, and people start being kind to her. And it really highlights just how different you get treated when you look a certain way. Like, why wasn't she worthy of that same attention before? And probably the most bothersome part about the whole film is the fact that she wouldn't have even caught the attention of the dwarves that come to help her if she wasn't wearing the shoes in the first place. But the dwarves aren't perfect themselves. In fact, they aren't the typical dwarves we're used to. They're former heroes who have all been cursed, and as a result, to everybody else, they look like short green monsters. Coincidentally, the only way to break the curse is to receive a kiss from a beautiful princess. And that's really the only reason why they cling to Snow. They care a lot more about who she is on the outside than who she is on the inside. Where conversely, Snow cares a lot more about who they are on the inside than who they are on the outside. It's a very interesting contrast that the film depicts. And it's honestly a really great message about the importance of taking somebody for who they are on the inside. But the way the film goes about it is just kind of offensive. Now, if you're able to look past this film's fatal flaw, once again, it's not bad. Its main twist aside, it's cliched, yet enjoyable. One of the things I especially enjoyed about this film was the animation. I mean, it's not Pixar level good, but it's still pretty good. And I also really enjoy the characters. I feel like you get a good sense of who they are, even though you don't spend a whole lot of time with all of them. Granted, most of them are just subdued versions of pretty popular mythological characters that we already know, like Merlin or Pinocchio. I also thought that there were some genuinely funny moments in this film, too. Especially towards the beginning. I think I laughed the hardest during the opening sequence. With that being said, I want to emphasize that I do not think this film is bad. Trust me, there are far worse films out there. And I also think it was made with the best intentions. However, its message comes across just so badly. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't watch this film. In fact, I'm sure a lot of people will, and there will also be people who love it. What I'm saying is that I'm concerned for the demographic that it's geared towards. Children. Because most children will watch this and not be aware of its subtext. And, you know, it worries me because in an age where we've become far more accepting and receptive to individual uniqueness, it feels like this film is a giant step backwards. And for that, I'm gonna give it 2 stars.
It's average. Ah, Vu Raj! You got to be kidding.
Guys, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to view this video. It really does mean the world to me. And once again, if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well for more new movie-related content weekly. Now, if you happen to see this movie, if you loved it, if you hated it, let me know what you thought about it down below in the comment section. I look forward to reading and responding to all of your comments. But that's pretty much all the time that I have for you guys today. As always, be on the lookout for more new content in the next couple of weeks. I have a lot of stuff that I'm very excited to share with you. So, yeah, I think I'm going to get back to work. Until next time, I'm Dempsey Pallad. Take care.